I'm Michael Sean Harris, and you're listening to Mike's Moment of, a weekly podcast in which I, along with my guests, share our various interests in moments of inspiration, truth, life, technology, culture, and more. I hope you're entertained and informed, and that you feel inspired to join me again and again in my moments of. Recording. All right. Yes, man. I see waveforms. Great.
Yes, man.
Yes, sir, Dwayne.
What?
How you do? All right. This is
right.
Mike's Moment of. We're talking with Dwayne Morris, Cahban Rekords.
Yes.
And we're just going to dive in because we have lots to talk about.
Of course.
So, all right, Dwayne, you started music in what? In church, or how you started?
I actually started music in high school.
In high school, which high school you went to?
I started in church, but it really started seriously in high school. I went to Frome Technical High School. That's in Westmoreland.
Okay.
Right so up in the Cane Field.
So you had somebody teaching you music there? You were teaching yourself music? How that worked?
Oh, Lord. This is a funny story. You know that they actually sent me music after school for punishment.
For punishment?
Yes. I actually used to hide from music class.
Yeah, I used to do that too, actually.
Yeah. I used to hide from music class. So they actually put me in after school program as punishment. And that's how it started. That's in 8th grade.
Thank God for punishment.
For punishment, right?
Because music is your life, no?
There you go. It's so funny, right?
Okay. So, all right. So, I know you used to teach at Papine High, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was rough. Not gonna hide. It was fulfilling, but it was rough. Actually, that was not my first teaching job.
What was the first one?
I actually went back to Frome School to teach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're teaching music, or you're teaching something else?
I was teaching music. I actually started in the science lab. The
science lab.
Yes, they
didn't have the music room.
No, actually, I was there to help with the sciences. Actually.
Okay.
So I did that for a couple of months. I think I started in February of 2002. And then the following September, 2001. And then the following September, the music teacher left. And they were like, oh, but little music. All right, go teach music. That was it. So that was my first job. I did that for a year before I came to Kingston, actually.
Okay. And I mean, so what was so rough about Papine? I mean, I've been there too. I mean, because I used to help out friends and stuff. But yeah, what was so rough about working at Papine?
I was not prepared for the job. In terms of, I think I came out of this safe environment in Edna Manley.
Okay.
And I was just thrown into reality with kids who had social issues, kids who basically they were not reserved and they didn't listen and they had a lot of challenges. So it was just a rough experience. And plus, honestly, I don't think I knew enough or had content to teach.
Okay.
So because as you know, most schools don't really have a curriculum for music.
Right.
So you basically just wing it as you go along.
Okay.
And that was it. I think it was lack of preparation, really, in terms of dealing with students. Plus, I mean, having content to teach.
But I mean, from the stories I've heard of the other people I know who are teaching there, it's not just the students; it's also the community that sometimes can be an issue of where the high school is. So because people will come on campus and do what they feel because it's their place.
And trust me, yes, I never forget it. One time, this guy came over there and just started slapping up this young lady. Apparently, they lived together, and she took a phone that he wasn't aware of, and he just came over there and just did his thing, So it was
Wow.
yeah, it was an
Okay.
environment that I just it was, yeah, rough.
It was like another world.
Yeah, man.
But even though you weren't prepared though, I mean they still call your name at Papine. So I mean, obviously you did something right. What?
um yes, because I love to prove things to myself.
Okay.
So I really overworked myself at Papine, to be honest. Uh,
But what were some of the successes? Like what did you do? Because as you say, you weren't prepared, but you did something. You dug it out of somewhere. What did you do that was so successful though?
I focused on the after school program, which was a festival choir.
Okay.
Yes, so I think that was where I had my successes. I really focused on that. I felt like that was where I got the opportunity to really do music. So
Okay.
I just went in, and plus they had the director who had that group before was Mr. Leighton Jones, and as you know,
Right. I know
Leighton is
Leighton.
just the boss. So
Yes.
I had huge shoes to fill, and I wanted to just live up to his expectation, honestly. So
Okay.
I drive myself crazy just to try and get, make sure that they come back home with the 22 gold medals as they are used to,
Right. Right. So I
So
mean, so competition became a big deal.
yeah, competition was a big deal in the school, especially
Okay.
with that choir. Like that was the good part of the school, so they really milked that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I really try
And,
to maintain that.
and a lot of times when people think of high school choir, they're thinking, kind of, musical theater songs and semi-classical songs, but that's not what you were doing, really. I mean,
No
you probably did
man.
some of that too, but you're doing what kind of stuff were you doing with them?
No man, dancehall, reggae
Okay,
is just what I try to meet them in terms of what they were used to. So the same
perfect.
songs they were hearing on the radio, I hear a new Mavado song, me I go find a way to put it in a medley somewhere. you know.
Okay, just clean up the lyrics a bit.
Yes man, that's it.
But so after Papine, you went to Ardennes.
I went to Arden, yes.
Okay, where
Uh,
did Edna Manley come in this? You went to Edna Manley before Papine, or
yes,
okay,
yeah man, I went to Edna Manley. It was 03 to 06. That's when I went
okay.
to Edna Manley.
Oh, and you did what there? What the program you did there?
I did the music education.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was our certificate. It wasn't a degree
It
then.
was it was a diploma. A matter of fact,
Diploma.
I wanted to do the jazz program, but it was a certificate at the time. And the
Right.
mother said
Okay.
she not pay for no certificate. So,
Understandable.
so
Understandable. Yeah.
yeah. So I had to do the
Okay.
diploma.
So, all right, Arden, how did that work out? Because that's a different environment.
Yes, Arden was a different world, in every way.
Tell me about it.
Arden first of all, Arden was the best teaching job I've ever done.
Wow. How
Yeah,
long were
man.
you there?
I was there for 2 very short years.
Okay. But you
two
accomplished
years
a
and,
lot.
and some months. Yes, I'm very proud of the work that I did at Arden. I don't think I've ever worked so hard any other time in my life, to be
tell,
honest.
tell me about some of the stuff you were doing there.
Well, I for one, I just when I went to the school, I had voices, and I'm like, yo, I need everything in my head to come out. So
Oh, you had good singers.
yeah, we have some good singers, and they were 11
Yeah.
and 10 years old, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I drove them crazy because
Okay.
I wanted them to sound exactly based on what I have in my head, and they delivered. They really
Wow.
delivered.
So,
We accomplished everything. We
mhm.
won everything we entered. Everything. It was a group that I just sent them on stage, and I just listened and in awe of them.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So, but was Arden in that vein of arts and artistic kind of excellence from before you got there, or were you a part of that beginning at Arden, or
So I was introduced to Arden from I was at Edna Manley while I was at teaching practice.
okay,
So I went there. I saw Mr. Herder. They had a very
right,
strong classical program.
right,
Very, 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 very strong. Great singers,
hmm
And I always wanted to go there. And I was actually at a rehearsal across the street, and Mr. Herd called me one day and said, "Yo, you want the job?" I said, "What?" You say you want the job? I said, "Yes." And I never did an interview. I just went over there and started.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how that
Okay.
came about.
So did you ever play anything on the hotel circuit or?
I did the hotel circuit for a month,
Um,
and I was like, "Yo, this ain't my thing."
okay.
I never liked the long hours, the 3:45 minutes set,
And
and
the little pay.
yeah, man, and the little money, and I
Right.
think the last time I went there, they usually have you go to the back to eat, and I never like that.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like me need to eat with the guest them or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Of
Yeah,
course.
so we never go
So
back.
right. Okay. I understand that. So when did playing in like bands, like which artists you were playing for?
My first experience, I started out actually with Busy Signal first. Um,
Okay.
well, I used to play with gospel artists first, and
Which ones and around what time was that?
that never
What
worked
years?
out.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait. Tell me who first, and then we're going to talk about when it work out.
I started with, who was it first? I think the first real official one was Stitchy. I started with
Okay.
Stitchy. I That was the first major gig, I would say.
Okay.
That was a nightmare. Moving on.
You don't want to talk about it.
I mean, we can talk about it.
What year was that? Around what year was
2000,
Stitchy?
actually, immediately after I left Edna Manley.
Okay.
Andre Carter called me and said, "Yo, me know you finish school now. We start a band," and him sell me the idea, and we just go, cause me and
Okay.
Andre good like that, you know. So I went.
hmm hmm
It was horrible, man. It was it was horrible.
Why? Why was it so bad though?
Situ was running a cult.
In what way? Why you said that?
I'm probably not gonna reach to him, but so be it. Is it was all right. Put it this way: all of us lived in the same space. We
Okay.
moved all the musicians to live in the same house, which I
Okay.
thought was strange. But again, Andre
It was like
Carter, so me I go
it was,
just go with the
it was like
flow.
a control tactic.
Yeah, man, and they pick us up at the house 5 a.m. in the morning, and we went by his house, and we were there until 10 in the night.
But what are you doing at the house the whole day?
Everything, print CDs, run
Okay.
errands, PM phone bill, go PM
So
light bill,
so the band was like his assistants.
everything. The band was his
Wow.
that it was his everything, and if you didn't comply and go with whatever, him sit you down and have a Bible study as to why you must you must obey the servant of the Lord.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Say no more.
Yeah.
Say no more. Which other? All right. Let me tell you something because all right, and maybe I'll get in trouble for this too. But I mean, I hear stories about the gospel industry and the gospel artists about how many of them are. I mean, and you've seen some of them. Some of them get shot. Some of them are thugs. You know, some of them are
Yeah.
gunmen, and you wonder how this makes sense to them.
I still try to figure it out, but I like no gospel artist could have get me to play a note for them. Straight up,
Okay.
never.
Okay.
Them as me no know, but them dishonest, man, and them very
Okay.
dishonest. Yeah, and them not no their character is just,
Okay.
yeah, and I
So
think
so
part of the reason is because you kind of have expectations of them too, because them are Christian
right.
people. And then
Mm-hmm.
some
Mm-hmm.
stuff that, I mean, one time a gospel artist leave me and the whole band in a wilderness because he didn't want us to do. We did a show, and then he wanted us to do not a free show, and we said, "Yo, we're not do not a free show," and he drove and left everybody in the middle of the night with me alone. I was the only one in the band with a car. I mean, I have to drop
And
out
this was
8
in
people.
this was in Jamaica. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I had to
At
drive.
least it
Yeah,
wasn't the
of
wilderness
course.
in the US.
No, definitely not. This was back in 2000 and something, man. Yeah, him
Okay.
drive left everybody, and I had to drive home and drop home everybody the night. You know, so
Wow.
and that was it. After that one,
That was
I
when you
was
said no
like,
more.
yes, no more. That's
Okay.
it. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So which reggae artist did you play for, and how was that?
Well, the only I did somewhat with Jah Cure. Actually, when he came out of prison, I was a part of the first band.
Okay.
And then I did, I think, 2 or 3 shows. But when the tour was coming up, the manager had, I think, his cousin or some uncle or somebody in Mobi that he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be in the band. So they replaced me with that person.
And that person could play?
And that, boy,
Okay. Say no more. I think I'm going to be saying that a lot in this interview. Say no more.
they have different interpretation.
Oh, you're so diplomatic.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So Jah Cure, who else? Who else you
Jah
played
Cure,
for?
and then I went to Busy actually.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I went to Busy. So I started working with Shane Brown and Busy during the early days.
And that was good. How was that?
We were doing most of rehearsal, I guess, because he had his plan and stuff, but Busy wasn't really there yet. He had some hit songs, but not to
Okay.
tour with a band just yet. And just before we started touring with Busy, Beenie Man called me.
Okay.
Them called me and say, "Yo, this is such a funny story." I think it was like 2 weeks before Beenie Man called me. Me and Andre Wilson was at home learning Beenie Man intro for him show, like
Right.
just randomly. I
You
swear
were
to you,
preparing.
preparing for what I do. We were just randomly playing some stuff from Beenie Man live shows, and 2 weeks later, them called me. And him said I was on the road and they said that they need the person to come now. And I'm like, okay, fine. They said, what? You don't need to learn this anymore. No, I'm saying I'm ready. And I went in the rehearsal and miss them just play. The man say, yo, they were so amazed. Not knowing that I've been rehearsing for this thing before now,
Yeah.
And
Boy,
being,
it speaks to preparation. You see? Anyway.
yep.
It's
And
preparation. Even for the things that you don't know coming, you're preparing.
that is very true. And that was how that thing came about. And then I just started working for Beenie Man. And that was the first official and probably is my only major gig
Okay.
as a musician, really.
All right. So working with Beenie Man, what are some of the things you learned, like going on tour with him, or just work ethic wise, or what are some of the things you learned from him, or the producers, or just from being the other people who are around you? Is there stuff you learned, or
Yes, I learned that Beenie Man is a workaholic.
okay?
Like this guy's not successful by accident.
Mm.
I learned that this man is really business like. Is a man is a child in a man body, and I think that is one of the reasons why I'm so happy. But
Okay.
when it comes on to stage and music, he him just don't play. When it come on to if him have an idea now, he's gonna produce it today. Like him
Okay.
have a song, we are gonna build a beat and we are gonna voice it today, not tomorrow, not coming. And he's not going
Wow.
to sleep until it's done. You know?
Wow. I'm glad. I mean, I would never have known that otherwise. You know, what I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
if I didn't talk to you, I wouldn't know.
Man.
So,
Yeah, man.
wow. Anything else?
In love what him do. I learned like I literally see that man lie in the middle of the street and cry because he missed a show. And I'm like, bro, like you've been I never forget it. This was they had a show in Trelawney for the Olympians one year where they were appreciating the Olympians and he missed a show in Trelawney. When we got there the show was done.
Wow.
And the dude was in the middle of the street crying. Like literal tears. That was
Yeah.
one thing. The second thing that I saw him do that I never forget. He was on stage and the generator went out. And the dude performed for half an hour by
Just
himself
a
with the
cappella.
people for half an hour. Just
Mad.
with the
That's
people.
wicked.
No band, no. And him just tell the drummer to play. That's it.
Yeah.
I never forget
Yeah.
that. Amazing. So work ethic
Wow.
is
That's
definitely one of the things I learned from Beenie Man. And never too busy for people. Like this dude will take a
cool.
million picture. Like you have to really say to him, yo, ready to let's go.
All right. Stop now. Stop
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And never
But
too tired.
but what do you think that speaks about? I mean, for me, it sounds like he's just really grateful for being where he is.
Yes. For
You know.
yes. And never get up like this man. You think that this man just getting a hit song for the first time.
Right.
This is a man that
Don't take nothing for granted.
nothing. I really respect that.
That's great.
Really. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow. All right. Who else? Who else you played for?
Well, in terms of not, I've played for most people in terms of like doing
Okay.
shows, doing Sting, doing some fest champions in action, and
So like
working.
one-off stuff.
Yeah, working with Rough Cut. So I've really done tons of rehearsal with a lot of people. I acting,
Okay.
I mean, Sizzla did Sizzla a few tours with Sizzla too.
Mm.
He's another one. I have to hats off to him too.
Okay.
Humble people, humble
Tell
people.
me about Sizzler.
Sizzla is very surprising. Sizzla is the only tour I did. How long was it? Um, I think we did 2 months on the road, and Sizzla is
Hmm.
the only person that paid me before the week start. That's one.
Professional.
Yes, he pay you
Yeah.
before the week start. That's one. Secondly, the last week we never did all our shows. He still paid us for the week. Thirdly, at the end of the week, since I was the only artist I ever tour with that walk in the restaurant and just buy the whole band food. And just buy, no, keeping the money in the pocket, just buy everybody food. And the most important thing he has ever done for me was I leave the tour with 7 songs. This dude just said, send me some beats. I'm advise them right now. 7 songs, one night.
What?
Amazing. No artist. And I work for Beenie Man for what, 5, 6 years, never get a song where that is my production. Sizzla gave me 7.
So is that when you started producing, or you started from producing from before?
No, I started producing before because I did the sister tour in 2016, but I started producing in 2012. Funny story. There's a story for everything.
Yeah, man.
I
That's why
start
we're here. We want to hear the story of them, man.
right. I started producing because I used to make beats for most of the producers who had name back in the day. I
Like
mean,
who?
like all of the Jammys brothers, them Jam 2, John, and the Jammys himself,
Hmm.
Suko from War 21. I don't remember some of them name, but a lot of them, they are
Okay.
producers, but not they don't play. So I
So them
used
have
to
money.
feel, yeah, them have money
Okay.
and they know the artist them. So
Right. Okay.
they have access to the artist. So you as the youth come play the phrase and then them call
Hmm.
them artist friend and them get the songs them. And
Okay.
I remember the first song I ever played in the studio was Mavado on the Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first song I ever phrased as a keyboard player. And I
Hmm.
remember when I had a meeting some years later with a publisher and they said that I licensed that song. And even though my name was on the CD, the 45, the record, he said I don't you don't have no shares in the song.
Really? So
Yeah.
you didn't sign any share agreement? No.
As a youth, you can't sign no, no
Or
agreement with.
they just pay your money and that's it for the
No man, then buy a drink.
a drink. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
So you
makes
haven't even
sense
been
with
paid for
life.
that. All right.
No, I haven't
Wow.
been paid. I mean, and that is the reality of our industry still. You're youth.
Hmm.
Get the youth to come do the thing. And that's exactly how I was seeing. I'm really grateful for the presence of these people anyway. So how dare you bring business to, you know?
Yeah, but sometimes that's what they rely on, that you're being grateful to be in their presence. I mean, I think sometimes their attitude is from a time long ago, when people weren't being trained. You're coming from a school of music and a wealth of experience before you even started doing these beats.
That's true in a sense, and sorry, not so true in one sense.
Hmm.
In terms of I did the teaching program, so in terms of music
Right.
business and stuff like that, I was not exposed to that.
Yeah, yeah, but that isn't the business part. I'm talking about experience and training in making music.
Hmm.
Cause back in the day, it was a thing of, okay, I want to make a record, or I want to be an artist. So
Hmm.
you go and sit down at the studio because you have no experience otherwise. So
Yeah.
sitting at the studio and you learn from the people who are there, and then them give you a food, and them make you record two things, and then they might push it, they might not push it. But times change. Times change from when you started doing it. It was different, and it's even more different now.
That's true.
So
That's
mm,
true, and it's to be honest, and a lot of people will not say, but it hasn't changed a lot really.
oh, you think
in,
that's
in, in
so? What you're saying is that they're still exploiting people.
Of course, and
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
they can't
Okay.
get you to do it, if you realize, even Kingston itself, let me just give you an example of something that you can see outside of the studio, probably where
Hmm.
you can't see. You have a set of artists in Kingston where every year or 2 year then change them band.
Right.
Their thing is, yo, make the youth them some fresh face and some fresh whatever. That's their thing until the youth them understand what's going on here and move on and then get a new set. So
Right. Right. Right.
that cycle with the artist them is the same thing that happen in studio. So they will
Okay.
always have a new set of youth who come from a country who don't know nothing, like how I came and didn't know anything. And once me start get smart and bring a paper, them say, "Oh, get rid of him, find a next youth." And
Right.
they're not gonna say it; they're just gonna do it.
Right. Cause that's one of the things I say. Cause I teach at Edna, and some of the things I teach music technology, which is kind of the beat making, and more, and performance, and but I tell them all the time because sometimes a lot of the students who go there because they're coming from church or they're coming from high school or whatever, and it's they know to play and in their head it's I'm going to go and play for artists.
That's true.
But some of the things I'm teaching them is the other things that they can do. The production stuff or the sound design stuff or the sample collection or even being a musical director for a show or scripting a show or planning out a show and that kind of stuff. And they resist it a lot. And I keep telling them, I said, the people that you're trying to go and work for at any moment can go, I've made enough money for this year, or I don't want to work with these people anymore, and drop you like a hot potato. And then what are you going to do? Try and find somebody else to play for? Or sometimes the market might get slow and the tours aren't happening as much as they used to.
Like
What are you
now.
going to do? What are you going to do? Exactly. What are you going to do? You have to find you have to have other skills, and all of it can be music, all of it can be creative. But there are other skills that you can have where you can either work for a TV show or be a consultant for something or whatever, compose something that you don't even have to be around people. You can compose it and send it to people. You should have these skills, at your
At your
fingertips, so
fingertips.
that you can always be viable. You can always be making yourself money. You can always find work or make work for yourself. And they resist it until they graduate, and maybe 5 years later they go, "Oh, I see what you're saying now." Or
It's, they always say that. And
yeah,
I know one of the reasons why, I mean, I can speak from experience. One of the reasons why they will resist it is because they're attracted to the music because of their peers.
right.
So when a youth who graduate 2 years before me from high school got Edna Manley and me seeing on my TV I play for a big artist, I just that is what I want. That is the ultimate for them.
Right.
And so they will block their minds off everything else, that because that thing it come with clout. It come with people that see me up on TV, come with yo in bus now. And that is what they want. So when you're telling them about learning skills of their own that will benefit them, that not really come with clout. Nobody not say that.
But nobody not telling them the reality though is that sometimes yes you go on the tour, but the tour might be 1 month, might be two weeks, and then you still, because everybody also want to have a family. Everybody, I forget me youth, and so they're 20 something and they're either getting married or not and having kids for sure. And so they have mouths to feed, including their own, and taking care of people, and that the little tour money don't always stretch the way you think it going to stretch.
All right. So let me tell you what I've realized, and this come from just, as I say, my personal experience and talking to the youth. Them, you see, each phase in your life come with different need. So between the ages of 18 to maybe like 22, the my need is clout, girls, nice clothes,
Yeah.
and car is a big plus. And the clout, as in me playing for artists, me dep on TV a morning time. That is it. If me can
Right.
achieve those things, I don't care what you have to say. That's what is important to me. So that is
I
important in
got you.
that phase of life. Until later, now you realize, like, boy, like happened to me when me a tour, me a fly up and plane. They can't talk to me. Me I make US dollar, and then after a while, the tour becomes work. Like God know, me have to take 10 plane to them. God know, like it's not exciting anymore because my
Right.
needs now change. I have a child now, so every dollar becomes important. So when we just start to walk around with $30,000 in pocket every day, every single day, because me never have nothing else to do with money, and me meet a little girl on the side of the road, me can count it out and pay for a little drink at the bar.
Right.
That is what is important to me at that time. You know, so
Got you.
after a
Got you.
while, the needs started changing, and that is why it's the 5 years later they'll come back and say, "Oh, Missy, why I say because the need changed now."
Yeah.
The
So,
cloud
so
not
they have to grow up a
important.
little bit. They
Yeah,
have to grow up a little bit to understand. All right. All right. I understand.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. All right. So all right. Let's go back to the producing thing now.
yeah.
All right. So when did producing become less of you doing it for other people and you doing it for yourself?
Okay, so after this whole meeting with the publisher now, made it just bitter because honestly I never know what to do. And then Mr. Boy, I never wanted to. They're telling me that I can take people to court, and me hear how much man get broke foot, how much man go missing, and all kind of stuff because of the whole court up me. And me no want to go down the road because me I no bad man. So
Right.
I just say, I go and me I go just lower this thing and I stop playing phrases for people. Full stop.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
stop turn up at them studio and just tour and go home.
Okay.
Or go to work, which was a teaching. And
Right.
then Andre Barnes, Andre
Right.
Andre just always come on me yard every day. Andre came to my yard every day for a year to try and convince me for
Wait,
us to
there's so many
start.
Andre you hang out with. You have enough Andre friends.
Andre Barnes,
Not
man.
just two.
Chris Ross. Chris Ross.
But no, I know. But you have another Andre friend. You have
Oh,
enough
yeah, yeah.
Andre
Oh,
friend.
not you. Yes, Andre Carter. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, man.
I know my middle name is Andre.
Oh, that's why. All right, that explains everything.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Chris came to my house for a year every day. Saying he want us to start a company, but me just never interested. Until me say, all right, you're persistent. Me we see what we can do. And we
Okay.
we started with the clip rhythm. That was the first one we ever did, which was a live rhythm, and we record Chronixx on it.
Oh.
Yes, that was Chronixx. Me did know that you there go boss. Let me tell you one of the reason why work ethics again. We did a
Okay.
marketing thing for that rhythm, and Chronixx was the only person who turned up at every interview. 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, it don't matter what the time he was there. You know, and
Okay.
the other artists them we could have begged them to till nobody no show up. You know, so Chronixx was on that, Jahmeil was on that, Alkaline was on it. I
Okay.
had Alkaline at Arden at the time, so any little opportunity me get me push.
Okay.
Yeah, and who else? Chevron was on it, and a couple other people. So that was the first project that we ever tried. It took me 1 year to voice it 10 songs on that beat.
Okay. Okay.
Just to try it like 1 year, and them are young artists.
So why it took so long? Why it took so long to voice it?
Just to get people in the studio.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you
Okay.
send them the beat and you have to bleed 3 months. Until
Right.
remind
I'm have to write them
yeah,
song and I'm have to,
and
yeah. All
you don't
right.
even write songs, just when them get around to it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it took a year, and that was the start of it. And
Okay.
after we did the clip rhythm, we decided that we are gonna just manage an artist. And we started out with Micah Shamaya. He was the first artist to manage. And
Okay.
then, that one never really worked out. And then we went to Alkaline and we started working with
Okay. And you had some success with Alkaline because you're still managing him when in boss really.
yeah, man. I was actually, Alkaline was signed to me until 2019, on paper.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So I don't know if I should get into this. What happened? What happened there?
I don't know. I don't
All right.
know.
So that's not like you don't want to talk about that. Okay.
No, man, we can talk about it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I'm hoping one day when he grows up that we can have a man talk about it. But me no know what happened. Him just call me one
Okay.
day and say, yo, me a thief him money. And
Me what? Oh,
I,
he accused you. Okay.
he accused me of stealing his money. And
Okay.
but I thought he was joking because he's a youth we just love joke around. So
Okay. Okay.
me say no man, they say what you talk about? Him say yo, and him did sound serious, and then me hear a bag of people in the background. So me drive go up on yard immediately. Like yo,
Mm-hmm.
when I went up there, it was just a house full of people. And
Wow.
I was like, yo, and everybody has scream at me. And
Okay.
I
So
just
he had advisors.
of course, he had a lot of advisors. Um, and I just left the house and that was it. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
sorry, nothing
Oh,
was brewing. Nothing never happened. We never had an
okay.
altercation. Nothing at all. You know.
Okay. So all right. So after that happened, what did you do? I mean, because you were spending a lot of time working on his career, basically.
Actually, I that was all I was doing.
Right.
I stopped everything else. I had no touring, working at schools, nothing. It was the only thing
Okay.
I was doing. I was just I invested all the money I had until
Okay.
I was at $0, literally. You know. So yeah,
So what did you do after that?
stay on me hard and ball every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That have to happen. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a real thing, I tell them, ball for days.
No. But of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it. Of course, it's like a bomb drop. Really, it's a big life change you never expected.
Yo, I was not. I don't know what happened. Just
Yeah, yeah, and especially because you don't know what happened. That's even worse.
that.
Because
Yeah,
you spend
that
so
was
much time going, "What happened?" That you're trying to
yeah.
figure out
That
if
was
it's your
the
fault, if it's something
mhm,
else. Yeah.
that was the hurtful part about the whole thing, especially because I mean, this youth to me was like my son. You know,
Okay. Hmm.
he at my house every day. We hung out. Anywhere we want to go, me just it was nothing for me to just drive go for him and just we go. No matter if you want to go link a girl, like it was just beyond just
Hmm.
we have a business arrangement.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so when everything did fall through, it was more than just yo, the business crash. Yo, me
Mm-hmm.
lose a virgin, and me never
Right. Right. Right.
know how. Literally feel like my brother stabbed me in my back for no reason at all.
Yeah.
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 So it did hurt for man,
That's rough.
trust me.
That's rough. Uh, but eventually, did you go back to teaching for a while, or did you go decide to go back to Edna?
Yeah, I eventually went back to Edna. I think going back to Edna was just me trying to occupy my mind because I was in no man's land really. I don't know
Right.
what was happening. My world was in turmoil. As I said, I never had a plan B. My plan A
Hmm.
was just this thing. So I went back to Edna Manley. I went back to country to live. I was just a
Okay.
rolling stone.
You cannot do a reset.
Yeah, man. I had to go back to my mom's house for a while, man, to just
Yeah.
like ground zero, like try and get a motivation as to why I started this thing in the first place. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. May I understand that. Off here, I will tell you a similar situation, but but anyway, this is
wow.
not for this interview. Um, but okay, but then all right. So you went and you did your degree. You did a degree in music education at Edna.
Yes, I did. Actually, I never did the thesis.
Oh, so you not finished it.
Yeah,
You don't have your
I
paper.
never finished. Me did kind of now because I never know why I have to do another thesis again. To be honest,
Oh, okay.
'cause,
Okay.
but I don't know. Edna was just it was a lot of work, and I felt like the 4 years that we did before, like 4 years plus another 2 years, 6 years, yeah, degree, bro. Come on, Edna.
Yeah.
Sorry, Edna, me a
Yeah.
bona fire pound upon that 6 years.
Yeah. and I worked there,
I
but
know, but 1 year for PQ and then 4 years. So
yeah, man, it's
it's
a lot. It's a
7 years.
lot.
That's crazy. That's
It's a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah.
I mean, but still, I mean, thesis or not, you're doing your masters now,
Yeah, I have like it requires 120 credits to do.
and you had a million from Edna.
I had over 200 credits from Edna. Edna Manley, me a burning out. I I had over 200. I think it's 180, and I did the conversion here. I did the conversion here to US. The good thing is the program goes through US, so it was instantly recognized. Thank God for that.
Okay,
So they
right.
recognized as a University of the West Indies thing, which was great.
Okay.
So when I went to college here to say, yo, I want to complete my undergrad, and they look on my transcript, they're like, undergrad for what? Like, you need to go over the grad school department. We can't do anything with this. You have too much credits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
sent me over to grad school, and I'm finishing in a year
Because you had so many credits.
because I had too much.
So all right. So stop going with Edna, because I mean you end up getting a master's.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a benefit somehow. I mean,
No, but
yes, I agree.
Edna's a great school. It's just we need to
Yeah.
really work on the amount of years it takes for people to get
I
there.
agree. I agree with you completely. I mean,
Yes,
there's a lot to be fixed.
of course.
But you moved to the US before that,
Um,
or you moved for school.
I moved to the US before that. Actually, I was like, all right, I need a break from Jamaica. So,
Okay.
so I came here, and I just, for the first year, just kind of just feel myself around, and then
Okay.
I actually I reached out to some schools in, because I'm in New York. I reached out to
Right.
schools around in Brooklyn and Queens, the city, and they were telling me that I would have to start from scratch. Like NYU said that if you want the NYU degree, you have to start from first year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so a couple of them told me that, and then I reached out to a school in Long Island, and they said I should come over. I went over there. They did the transcript. They like, whoa, and they asked me to play. They gave me a
Okay.
scholarship on the spot,
Wow.
which was
Great.
awesome. Yes, that was really really great. So they gave me a scholarship on the spot, offered me a spot in the school, and I just started.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I'm also
Okay.
teaching as
Okay.
well, as you know. So
You're teaching high school.
yeah,
And you're playing in a band. You have a band, or you're playing in a band, or playing for
always.
artists, or always. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I have a band here called Jenna Roots. Nice, nice, nice
Right.
little band, And of course, the lead singer is Dreamer, Edna Manley student.
I remember him. Yeah,
So
man.
yeah,
Hmm.
man. So we,
Arian, you play with Arian at all, or?
yes, sorry, yes, not COVID-19.
Yes. I'm gonna have to edit out so much coughing.
I know. I'm sorry. Yes, I did. I do a lot of work with Arian actually. Arian
Okay.
is one of those efficient people, and you can
Yes.
always
Yes. Yes.
count on
Yes.
Arian to be very professional about her things. I always have to big up Arian.
All right. Great.
Yeah, man.
And then you started building a studio again at home,
Yeah, I
but
have.
it looked like you break it down. So
Yes, actually strip it so that I can redo the
okay.
walls. I strip it
Okay.
and redo the walls. So I'm gonna set up in here really nice, man. So
Okay.
I make more money now, so we can. And
All right. So this studio is gonna be multi-purpose. Is it? Are you gonna go back into production? Are you gonna be doing
yes,
teaching in there? Are you gonna be doing?
definitely going back in production, full fledged. Like, sorry,
Oh,
I really set aside some stuff to really get back into production. I have some really talented students at school too that I'm working with,
okay.
really
Okay.
talented rappers. So I'm doing some work with them, and I really plan on investing and doing some stuff in Jamaica as well. So I definitely
Okay.
plan to go back in
So,
production full fledged.
and is it gonna be dancehall? Is it gonna be hip hop? Is it gonna be both, or
Music,
the range?
music,
Music. All right.
yeah, man, everything,
All right.
even
All right.
opera.
So who are? Okay. Sounds good. Who are some of the artists? I mean, apart from the students and the people you're working with, who are some artists that you want to work with?
Want to right now? I mean, everybody. I am willing to work with everybody once they have talent. Actually, as I say, I
Okay.
want to go full fledged back in. So I've been asking questions. Like, who are the artists who are really doing well? Some young upcoming artists, whatever I need to do, because I know some of them probably don't know me or don't remember me. So
Right.
I'm willing to do back the groundwork, everything that I need to do really to get back my company off the ground again, because it's been
Okay.
inactive for a little while. So
Right.
yeah.
So it sounds like you're getting you're finding yourself back again. You're getting your energy back.
Yes,
No,
man. Dwayne get his groove back.
that's good.
Much happier,
Time heal enough things,
man. I tell you.
So what?
Trust.
All right. So but but what are the all right, I don't necessarily want names here. I want like personality types. Who are some of the kinds of people that you definitely do not want to work with?
Do not want to work with. Um, Hmm. I haven't thought about that, to be honest. I think
Really?
I'm
Okay.
more thinking of who I want to work with, which is
All right, that's
anybody
good.
who have work ethics and people who
Right.
just want to work,
Okay.
and I mean, before, I think most of my experience was with artists was kind of a handout kind of thing where, I mean, an artist just I look for people to hand things out to them. It's not
Right.
that kind of thing. I want to do music, so you want to do music, we do that, and we find a way to market the music and put it out there.
Okay.
Me no want buy no shoes and shirt for nobody and send money
Hmm.
to your baby mother.
Right.
Yeah, music.
How do you approach the music business part of it now differently than you did before? I mean, how are you going to go about this? What is your plan in terms of how you approach your artists and in terms of agreements and all that stuff? What you
Um,
thinking with that?
well, I'm not at a place where I think I want to manage an artist right now. I'm at a place where I want to work on projects. So
Okay.
I mean, so you write music. I play keyboards. I have some resources that I can use to market it, and I will do the work to market it. So you do your part, I will do my part. But in terms of artist management, I'm not quite there yet, because I just don't want to put myself in a position where somebody can pull the control out of my hand, and I feel like that is kind of the challenge artist management posed to me. you know
Right.
you don't have much control over that. The artists get up today and in a bad mood and don't want to do nothing, like, you just have a bill. So
Hmm.
yeah.
But even on the production side, though, I mean, there's questions of ownership and percentages and stuff. Is that something that you start early speaking with the people you're gonna work with, or something that you warm up to, or
All right, so there is kind of an unwritten rule. I don't know what has changed much in our industry as it relates to your art, you voicing a song and blah blah whatever. Because there's just a split right down the middle in terms of lyrics for you, music for me. That kind of split. I'm always willing to go 50-50 with whatever we're doing.
Okay.
I don't like when the politics is too technical,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, because I think it kind of take away from everything else. In terms of things written down and blah blah whatever, I have lawyers who are gonna be just dealing with that, and if
Okay.
needs be, they will be activated. But in terms of
Gotcha.
me and you link up and we say we are gonna do nothing, we don't need to stress about the business right now. I mean, if
Okay.
anything
Okay.
happen, I don't want business to come between me and you. Call the lawyer, make our lawyer talk to each other. Make them stress over that.
Gotcha.
And I'm willing to go
Okay.
in that direction, because the truth is that is how they operate here. I mean,
Right.
yeah, that is exactly how they operate here. Lawyers have arguments in boardroom. They have arguments. Every art is good,
Right.
you know. So
Right.
we try to keep it that way.
Mm-hmm. So from something you just said, because it seems like in the Jamaican context, it's slightly different. Because like I went to school in Boston. I went to Berkeley, and when you talk about copywriting stuff and you talk about music and lyrics, you really just talk about melody and lyrics.
Uh-huh.
So, but it sounds like when you talk about music and lyrics, it might be the arrangement, the track,
Uh-huh.
and then the artist. So when we learn that music business stuff, the songwriter is the person basically. When you copyright the chords, you're copywriting melody and the lyrics,
Uh-huh.
right? So chords, arrangement, all that stuff is a different deal.
Uh-huh.
How does it work in the Jamaican context?
Um, I can basically tell you what I know. So you have
Okay.
a beat. Usually, this is how things work in our context. You as a producer, you build a beat, you send it, go give an artist. It's my beat.
Mm-hmm.
I compose this beat on my own without your help. You write your song.
Right.
So everything pertaining to music, melody, arrangement of that beat, that's mine, right? So it's rarely a case where everybody in the studio and we make everything from scratch together. I rarely see that, right? So
Okay.
a lot of that politics more relates to albums where there's a group of people in a studio where they come up with things and artists is there and you sing a song and I build my cards around your song. But usually that's not the core of our business. In
Okay.
Jamaica, that's not the core of our business. This usually I send a beat to you and this is the beat. I create this on my own and you just write a song around it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I think it needs some more discussion because it's almost like it's two different things when you
Mhm.
think about songwriters generally everywhere else.
Yeah.
Because when you even when you write to the you're sending your song to the Library of Congress, the songwriter is the person who came up with that the melody of the of the song
Hmm.
and the lyrics and the words. So
Hmm.
it's melody and words that they're copywriting. So the beat is would be a different part of it because honestly that song can be done on any beat you could have do that song on in a sense, not
Hmm.
any beat, but you know what I mean,
Yeah, no.
right? So the copywritten part of that of the song is actually just the melody and the lyrics. So yes, you can probably copyright your arrangement, which is the beat, which
Hmm.
is your track,
Hmm.
but that is a separate thing. So I don't know. I would love to talk to some other people more
Hmm.
on this, to see how it works out. Because there's something even further with Jamaican music, because those bass lines are so iconic and so melodic as well. So I mean, you should be. I'm sure you can copyright the bass
The
lines
baseline.
in the Jamaican context.
Hmm.
You know, because some of those things they're very recognizable. So anytime you play them is recognizable as a particular thing.
And I can tell you this, it might sound simple, but half of those things are not done. A lot of the
Mm,
a lot of even those bass lines and musicians who play those, they are getting nothing from those things because
they just get
this
like a
they
one-off pay kind of thing.
yeah, one-off payment and then is a Jammys beat and that's it. And that one name is placed everywhere over that record in terms of arrangement, this, that, whatever.
Right.
And and
Yeah, but they never made any music.
no. And part of the reason for that too, as I say, is because we don't love the politics. And a lot of times the people who are in the position to make things happen for you as a musician, you bring politics to them shun you. So we avoid the politics to keep our careers alive, really, because
Yeah, but it feel that for me, it's two things for me. It
Mhm.
feel one of them. It feel like a control tactic to
It is.
keep
Mm-hmm.
the person who really need to get who have the rights.
Mm-hmm.
And then other thing is a kind of, and I don't like to use this word, but this word when tell you what it means. It's country. It kind of backwards in terms of how you think about the things,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't, because you keep calling this a music industry, and is it really an industry if you're not developing it as an industry? Because a lot of people who have something to gain from keeping it in the dark, keeping it backwards, are still kind of putting their foot down on the people who are trying to make it change, make it grow.
Um, is not a blame thing, but I think one of the
Hmm.
reasons for this, and I say this all the time, we don't have enough educated people who really work as hard as the non-educated people in music. So,
Okay.
so, so yeah, so you will have a great, awesome singer who graduated from Edna Manley, who I will never see in a dance or a party for 1 year straight to ensure that his music is played and marketed because that kind of, too local. But yet
Right.
you have a little youth around the road who will do that every night until him become the next big thing. And
Right.
I
Right.
think that's one of the reasons why the industry is how it is, because a lot of us educated people are not willing to do the dirty work because we think we're above it. So instead of going down there to do the dirty work, we probably just get a background singer for the same youth. We're gonna do the dirty work. We are background singer for him, because he was
Right. Right.
willing to go in the gutter and make it happen. And
Hmm.
until the educated people start going down in the gutter and make it happen for them, industry going to remain the same.
Okay.
Because the industry
Okay.
that I learned at Edna Manley is when you graduate, you go out there, you realize that is different. I mean, some of it is
Hmm.
changing now, where a lot of it is uptown, and I'm sure you see that because you're experiencing it. But before that, I don't own everything there, and not in terms
Right.
of geographical location, but in terms of the things.
I know what you mean. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
until we start have some more singers from Edna Manley who boss. I mean, and me as a musician come drop a paper upon him desk, him not going to feel no way because him know how the thing go. You will
Right.
never see those things happening. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, again, when I was in school, one of the things that they tell you in the music business class is, even if you're forming a band, I know it's your best friends and your brother or whatever. The first thing you do is you do a little agreement and say, this is whose share of what, and
Mm-hmm.
this is who does what, and this is what you deserve, this is what I deserve, and then you put it down and you just work from that, because when something happens, you have that to refer to. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that thing that you will live with every day. It's something that you say, okay,
One.
this is our agreement, and then so everybody kind of knows is on the same page. Nobody has a misunderstanding of what their agreement is, because that's where the problem is. It's when you think it's something, but I think it's something else, and then down the line you think that I'm being unfair because it's not what you think it is. So if you start it up with
That's
that clear piece of paper or whatever, and it can be a one-page thing with just 5 lines, but you say what it is that everybody agree to it and say, okay, fine. And then if somebody at some point say, I want to revisit the agreement, then fine, let's revisit the agreement. But
every time we do that, we get suspicious of each other. You know, I don't, I don't know why, but I don't. It's a cultural thing. It's discussions that I've had a couple of times. You know, I think part of the reason why is because us as we think with our emotions first. as
right,
is a
yeah,
positive thing with us as Caribbean people, but it's also a negative thing. And I realized that it even affects me now in my professional environment when my principal will come in and just say this, that, whatever, and I probably not like her tone, but who cares? Get the job done. That's how they think.
right,
I don't care
right,
about
right,
your
yeah,
emotions, just get the job done. And I have to
hmm
talk to myself all the time, yo, keep it moving, get the job done. That's it. Nobody cares about your feelings. And I think
hmm
because we focus and think with our emotions so much, that is why we can't get half of these things done.
but I think part of it also is that as creative people, we don't think of ourselves as a business.
No,
Because we really are. That's what we are, and that's
Joe.
and if we thought of ourselves in that way, then those kind of formalities would make more sense. I think. I mean, that might not happen as regular as it should, but at least it would make more sense if you thought of yourself as a business, as a business, a musician. The business is, yes, I play keyboards, but the business is, there's another aspect of the business is that I have these talents and these things are monetizable, are marketable, and I can make money from these things. So these things, I need to be clear with how I'm interfacing with people with these skills that I have, because they're worth something.
Mm-hmm.
They're worth something, and what I produce is worth something. So I have to interface with you based on what my value and what you value my worth and the skill to be. So, but I think it's slowly changing, but I think it's kind of too slow. But and I mean, and we can badmouth Edna as much as we want, or I mean, I know you're not really badmouthing Edna, but I think we're there's some of what we're teaching that is sinking in,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the people who are going out are helping to
Change that.
change the landscape, whether intentionally or unintentionally. But you're seeing the change. There's some slight changes.
Edna is
There's
the
but
best thing
more.
that ever happened to our music industry. Trust me. Like it is. I see it. I hear it in the level of music that is being played.
Hmm.
And I see it with the professionalism. Like Edna really doing a great job as it relates to that. The popular music part of Edna is just awesome. That
Oh, great!
yeah, man.
Thank you,
Yes, man. It's
because I'm part of it. Yes.
yeah, man, definitely awesome. Like I have people over here, like they watch the drummers, they watch the musicians, and you're surprised.
Hmm.
Like you feel like it's Jamaicans are fans of Americans. You have a lot of Americans over here who are fans of what's going on over there. Trust me. And that's
That's
why I
great.
tell the
That's great.
drummers,
Okay.
yo, record yourself because the people who America has 300 million people. The 10 that you know who is awesome, believe me, the others are trash, not trash, but they're not as good, and they
Mhm.
look to people like you guys who are
Right.
really awesome. Because you see, the thing is, the Jamaican musician, they compare themselves to the best of the best, not
Right.
realizing that they
Yes.
are so way ahead of the average person, you know.
True.
Yeah, so
True.
they
True.
really need
True.
to start recording
And
themselves, and seeing themselves as a
yeah.
business.
And And the truth is that Jamaica generally tends to bat above its average anyway, where the culture thing is concerned, because
Yeah,
it's such a small place, but it's had a big
listen,
influence and stamp on the world. So
I learned that after just with my high school alone. Like when every high school that I've taught in Jamaica, I can find 10 wicked singers. It's I mean I'm in a performing arts high school and I can't find 5 singers who,
wow,
yeah, and it's a performing arts high school. So we take it for granted with what we have. you know.
right. Well, I mean, it's a bigger population, so yeah, the talent will be spread out more. So yeah,
Really spread out.
All right, cool. Dwayne, well, I mean, I think we're talking enough. We can talk again, but the
Yeah.
last thing I want to know is art.
Mhm.
You used to do these live interview things on Facebook. When are you going to get back to that? Because I mean, you never invite me. You never invite me to come talk,
No.
but
Yes,
you
we
used to love tuning in.
no. I invited you. I reached out to you.
Then you stop. You reach out to me and you go, "Me not do no more." So you're late. You're late.
No, it's work and school caused that. It was
Okay.
work and school, and before that, it was technical issues that I just could not figure out, and nobody on Facebook could help me with because I wanted
Okay.
my thing to be a live interview,
Right.
instead of a pre-recorded thing. I wanted people to engage, and it was just so I will set up the interview, and then when I try to connect to the interview, it was just, and it really hurt me, you know,
Right.
you know.
But now you figured it out because I mean, you soon done school.
Soon done school
So
and
what?
soon
Zoom?
fully go back into it. So I mean, I have to find. I think Zoom could work. I don't know. I could stream Zoom through Facebook. I don't know if that is possible. Yeah, man. I definitely gonna figure it out. But the truth is, it's just work and school. So I leave like 5 6 in the morning, and I'm back home by 10. It's just not possible. And
Wow.
grad school with the whole
Yeah.
writing, so
Okay.
it's rough. But it's something I'm
Okay.
really passionate about. I mean, and I saw where people were tuned in, and people were
Good.
really learning from it. So I'm going to get back to it, man, for sure.
All right, cool. All right. Well, thanks for talking to me, sir.
Yes, man. It was great.
Till next time.